Then that's what it costs to put you in orbit. To go to the moon would cost perhaps $100,000 a pound.
Yeah.
To go to Mars would cost about $1 million a pound. Imagine your body weight in diamonds. That's what it would cost to put you on the planet Mars.
Right.
Now, by 2020, we're going to have a traffic jam on the moon.
It is game over for NASA. For years, Elon Musk has told us that the moon is not what we think. It is just not another celestial body in our solar system. NASA didn't catch the memo. But you know who did? China's National Space Agency. America was the king of the space race, and now its space program is faltering as China has stumbled upon a shocking yet secretive discovery that would change the world forever. Join us as we take a deep dive into China's best-kept secret, which was leaked by Elon Musk. Moon is not what we think. The tech extraordinaire, Elon Musk, is known for his larger-than-life approach to his advancements in SpaceX. His vision for space exploration and colonization is far more advanced than the American space program carried by NASA. The space agency has landed remarkable achievements during its extensive interstellar space mission, but its progress over the last 50 years has been excruciatingly slow. In comparison, private entities like Blue Origin and SpaceX have made considerable strides despite being much younger organizations. Not to mention, these agencies have been monumental in finding new horizons in space that go beyond ordinary expectations set by NASA. There's a reason why SpaceX has established itself as the technological apex of space exploration, and even the Chinese National Space Administration couldn't help but feel threatened by the visionary Elon Musk. You see, Elon Musk has a very clear purpose for SpaceX. He wants to use the moon as a base to carry out extensive space mining options. He believes that man had landed on the moon in 1969 after struggling for nearly 6 decades. Back then, our access to scientific knowledge was highly limited. Even then, space agencies from the US, Russia, and China were able to make considerable progress. Since then, more than 5 decades have elapsed, and now our exploration of the celestial body has diminished drastically. NASA, especially, hasn't paid any heed to the mineral deposits on the moon that are believed to be revolutionary for human civilization. Expressing his disappointment in NASA, Elon Musk remarked that our negligence towards the mining capacity of the moon is restricting us from solving major humanitarian issues that plague our planet, Earth. Everywhere around us, the world is struggling with major resource deprivation. The irreversible impact of environmental degradation has forced us to pick renewable energy options that are both unreliable and expensive. Imagine if we directly harvested energy-producing minerals from the moon to carry out massive development projects. Well, Elon doesn't want us to just imagine this possibility. Via SpaceX, he wants to set a permanent base on the moon's surface to unravel its expected potential as the major source of energy for Earth. For decades, it has been theorized that the moon is a flourishing source of fuel, rare materials, and minerals that can single-handedly solve the energy crisis for centuries to come. What's more, the fuel entrenched within the surface of the moon is the key for carrying out far-fledged missions into space and even setting up lunar habitats. At least, that's the vision of SpaceX's CEO, who is looking to use lunar soil or regolith to insulate the base on the moon to protect it from radiation. Since regolith can't be transported to planet Earth, it'll be more useful to insulate the structures that are present on the celestial body itself. Why do we need a lunar base? In particular, Elon Musk has emphasized a lunar base for this very reason. But his missions go beyond just using the moon as an energy source. We already know that companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are trying to make space visitation a public avenue. Musk believes that space travel should be a pursuit for everyone and not just celebrated by space agencies. The Tesla CEO has been making several efforts to make interplanetary travel a possibility. But that dream can only come true if he gets to establish a lunar base on the moon that is self-sufficient to fuel further voyages into space or to facilitate mineral mining in space. Now, NASA severely lacks such a perspective. While it has been participating in the space race since the Cold War, it currently has no plans to use the moon for space mining purposes. And there is no plan to set up a permanent space station on the moon's surface, even after collecting sample data on the satellite, including theorizing the presence of water on the moon. So, it goes without saying. The moon is a far more interesting and mysterious place than we have been led to believe. But at the same time, It is almost shocking that NASA hasn't been able to lock down the maximum potential of mining minerals on the moon when China's space program has carried out multiple missions to do the same. And in a shocking turn of events, it turns out that China has been hiding a big discovery about the moon that would change everything. There's only one man who knows the gravity of this shrouded mystery inside out, and he knows the entire world wants to know about it. Elon Musk has called the ultimate checkmate on China's National Space Agency by leaking their best-guarded secret. And now, in the hopes of doing damage control, the Chinese government has been scrambling to find its saving grace while it tries to win the space race against its biggest rival, the United States of America. Why is China winning the space race? In recent years, China's space program has been a massive threat to NASA's space trajectory. The Chinese Communist Party has been extremely forthcoming with funding its ambitious space ventures if it means tapping a strategic advantage over the United States of America. Like its rival counterpart in the West, the country is struggling with a major resource crisis as it is trying to get back on mineral mining to respond to its energy needs. It doesn't need further emphasis, but the second largest economy in the world relies on its extensive industrialization sector. And what would happen if China eventually runs out of renewable energy sources? To prepare for such a dark, bleak, and destructive reality, the country has been funding its national space program to search for rare metals and alternative minerals at a place that it gets to call its very own, the moon. Over the years, China has collected thousands of mineral samples from the celestial body, and in the process, it has hidden several discoveries from the public to silently work on its moon colonization program. The Chinese government is infamous for hiding secrets in its deep networks, especially to gatekeep information that has high utility. If China has stumbled upon something revolutionary, it wouldn't want anyone in the United States of America to know about it. No wonder Elon Musk has a knack for taking interest in China's venture into space and has finally leaked their best-kept secret. In November 2023, China's National Space Administration achieved something remarkable about its moon mining program. Perhaps you didn't get to hear about it at all because the Western media shied away from publishing this life-changing information. But when it comes to the space race, China might have won a medal. Very recently, the country was able to test and successfully deploy the reusable rocket technology that will take its space program to new heights. And if you're thinking that China is trying to compete with SpaceX's Falcon reusable rocket mission, you're actually spot on. You see, the tables around the space race have turned exponentially. At this point, China might not see NASA as its main competitor. It has shifted all gears to outshine SpaceX, which has a similar mission of space mining with its robust technological advancements like the Merlin engine. Falcon 9 represents Elon Musk's pinnacle of success. SpaceX designed and manufactured the rocket to facilitate reliable transport to the Earth's orbit. According to the space company, Falcon 9's boosters can be reused 10 times while maintaining its structural integrity. Its most iconic booster is B1021, which was reused 10 times, setting a new record for reusability. It is hard to say if China was able to beat SpaceX's record, but it must have come close. The Chinese space company wants to send repeated missions to space to amplify its exploration of Mars, and of course, the Moon. But each mission is extremely hefty, and its newly reusable rocket technology would definitely help in cutting down the cost. After all, it has a great incentive to continue its research on the recent discovery that left Elon Musk shocked and surprised. Has China finally beaten Elon Musk and SpaceX at their own game? Well, it looks like it. China's shocking discovery. There's little doubt that China's lunar exploration program wasn't hugely successful. Despite being the country's first sample return program, it exceeded all expectations and gave the country a major leverage over lunar programs that didn't yield extraordinary discoveries from their research. The Chinese National Space Administration sent its fifth program, Chang'e 5s, in 2020 that collected samples as old as 2 billion years old. The mission was focused around the Oceanus Procellarum exploration site on the near side of the Moon that has intrigued space scientists for years. After years of probing around, the agency had decided to collect lunar rocks and soils for a research agency in Beijing that was testing out the energy capacity of the samples. This is to say that lunar sediments were being specifically tested for compounds that would potentially help in generating energy. Now, like good Samaritans, China has promised to make its discoveries public, so the scientific community can learn a thing or two from its historic missions. And well, it followed through on its commitment in 2023. China was being hailed for its generosity until Elon Musk revealed that the space agency was hiding something revolutionary from us. When the research lab in Beijing was running tests on a piece of lunar basalt, they were shocked to see a new variation of phosphate element in the rocks. Even though the lunar basalt was initially collected by NASA's Apollo 17 mission in 1972, it hadn't discovered the phosphate material that would be categorized as a new moon crystal altogether. The Chinese scientists found a single new crystal of phosphate mineral that was named Changesite Y by the space company. Changesite Y isn't an ordinary moon crystal. China believes that the phosphate element is the key to nuclear fission that will produce unlimited energy for the country. One of the main ingredients in Changesite Y is helium-3, which is the most stable source of fuel for nuclear fission reactors. Scientists have been talking about the game-changing impact of helium-3 for years. But the ingredient is extremely rare on planet Earth. And it was just China's luck that it stumbled upon an unlimited supply of the fuel. For years, China has tried to solve its pollution problem, which has caused major ecological issues in the country. Now, if the Chinese are able to tap into a stable supply of Changesite Y, China will have a mechanism to produce nuclear energy without burning fossil fuels. So far, NASA hasn't even started its round of sample collection lunar missions. Believe it or not, China has become the only country to collect samples from the moon and test them in 4 decades. It's true that the Chinese National Space Administration is still figuring out plans to find more lunar basalt with Changesite Y that would undoubtedly make China the winner of the space race. With its reusable rocket technology, it is also expected that China is trying to set up a permanent moon base, just like Elon Musk had planned for SpaceX, and well, this move was probably expected. Recent reports about the Chinese space agency revealed that they were extremely rattled by SpaceX's success in space exploration. After all, it had not only designed Falcon 9 but had tested it out successfully as well. So, the new era of the space race isn't just about national space agencies. Today, big companies like SpaceX are giving economic superpowers a run for their money. Found the video interesting? Give it a like and subscribe to our channel.